Rachel Zegler's public image seems beyond repair at this point. No matter how much Disney pays her to stay quiet on social media or how polished her PR team is, the damage has already been done. Despite her recent silence, audiences haven't forgotten her past statements, how she criticized the original Snow White, dismissed the fanbase, and acted disrespectfully toward the legacy of the beloved animated classic. Now, Disney is facing a major financial disaster, with Snow White's box office projections sinking even lower as its March 21st release date approaches. Recent reports suggest that the film's expected opening weekend has been revised downward, spelling even more trouble for the House of Mouse. According to a leading Hollywood research firm, Snow White is now tracking for a mere $53 million domestic opening, with estimates ranging between $48 million and $58 million. This is a significant drop from earlier projections, which had the film opening between $63 million and $70 million, a number that was already considered underwhelming. For a company like Disney, which has invested a staggering $300 million into this film, these numbers are a nightmare. Typically, a film needs to make at least double its budget to break even, and Disney was likely hoping for a minimum of $700 million at the box office, perhaps even aiming for the coveted $1 billion mark. However, given the current outlook, Snow White seems unlikely to come anywhere close to that figure. With just 3 weeks remaining before release, Disney's final marketing push is in full swing. The question is, can they do anything to reverse the film's downward trajectory? Realistically, it seems highly unlikely. Parents may take their children to see it, and some nostalgic Disney fans might buy a ticket. But the mass appeal that once carried live-action adaptations to box office success appears to be missing. Earlier live-action remakes, such as Cinderella, Beauty and the Beast, and Aladdin, all crossed the $1 billion mark, proving that audiences were once eager to embrace Disney's reimaginings of their animated classics. However, that enthusiasm has been waning recently. The decline began with Mulan, which failed to resonate with audiences, followed by The Little Mermaid, which also underperformed despite Disney's best efforts. Now, Snow White is on track to continue this downward trend. Many factors are at play: Rachel Zegler's past controversies, the general fatigue surrounding Disney's live-action remakes, and the perception that these films lack the magic and heart of their animated predecessors. Disney may have once counted on nostalgia to drive ticket sales, but that strategy appears to be losing its effectiveness. The bottom line? Snow White is facing an uphill battle, and there's little Disney can do to turn things around at this point. The audience's trust has been broken, and many fans have made it clear they won't be supporting this film. Whether due to Zegler's comments, frustration with Disney's recent creative decisions, or a broader disinterest in yet another remake, one thing is clear: this isn't the fairy tale ending Disney had hoped for. Rachel Zegler and Snow White have firmly landed in the failed adaptations category, and many believe this movie deserves to fail. Zegler has shown time and time again that she lacks genuine kindness, compassion, and most importantly, respect for the source material and the fans who care about it. While Disney has desperately tried to salvage her image with a high-powered PR team, their efforts have been too little, too late. Just days ago, Zegler attempted to walk back her previous criticisms of Snow White in a carefully crafted Disney-approved interview. She tried to reframe the backlash, claiming that it wasn't hate toward the film, but rather a reflection of audience passion. "I interpret people's sentiments towards this film as passion," she said. "What an honor to be a part of, something that people feel so passionately about. We're not always going to agree with everyone who surrounds us, and we can do our best." Had she expressed this sentiment from the beginning, she likely wouldn't have faced such intense backlash. However, people haven't forgotten her earlier remarks, where she openly criticized the 1937 classic. She infamously dismissed it as outdated, called the prince a literal stalker, and rejected the film's core themes by stating, "It's not 1937 anymore, and very evidently so." These comments made it clear that she had no appreciation for the original story. She even scoffed at the idea that Snow White's dream was to find true love, as though happiness and love are not things worth aspiring to. This mindset contradicts the very foundation of what classic Disney films used to stand for. The reason these movies resonated with audiences for generations was because they championed themes of love, personal growth, and faith in others. They encouraged people to be better, to change for the better, and to trust in love and kindness. These are values that once defined Disney, but modern Disney seems to reject them entirely. Instead of respecting the source material, or even choosing to create a new original story, Disney decided to modernize Snow White in a way that feels forced and unnecessary. The result? Widespread rejection from audiences. Fans aren't just upset with the film itself, they also dislike Zegler. Despite Disney's efforts to rehabilitate her image, many people see right through the PR spin. With the Snow White release approaching, all eyes are on how Disney will continue to market Zegler. They are trying to make her appear more relatable, funnier, and less divisive. But the reality is that the damage is done. The latest box office projections reflect this, as the film's expected opening weekend numbers have plunged even lower than previous estimates. At this point, there's little Disney can do to change public perception. Fans aren't going to forget Zegler's past statements, and many have already decided to boycott the film. Whether it's because of her attitude, the unnecessary changes to the story, or just general fatigue with Disney's live-action remakes, Snow White is shaping up to be a major financial disaster. That's all for this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed it, give it a like, and if not, feel free to dislike it. I appreciate your support either way. I'll be back with another video soon.